Welcome to the Girl Talk Mental Health. Girl Talk Mental Health dares to go where others won't. We unpack the hard truths about mental health, dissect trending topics, and challenge the stereotypes and stigmas holding us back. From navigating the 6 dimensions of wellness to redefining social norms, this is more than a discussion. It's a revolution in how we care for our minds and souls. Ready for bold, honest conversations that spark change? Let's dive in. It's time for real talk with real impact.
Have you ever whispered, "When is it my turn?" Today on Girl Talk Mental Health, we are going deep into the heart of stress, fertility, and mental health, the part no one talks about, but every woman feels. And I am joined today by Dr. Brenna. I hope I'm saying her name right because I didn't ask her before. It's a cute name, but I hope I'm pronouncing it. Dr. Brenna, you'll tell us later, who will reveal how mental health and fertility are connected and how to protect your peace while waiting for your promise. So let's welcome her to the stage.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about this topic.
Okay, and go ahead and correct me for how I messed up your name.
You got it right the second time. It's Dr. Brenna Squires.
Okay, it's a cute name. I'm sorry.
Thank
So
you.
let's know a little bit about you.
Yes, so I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I've been doing that focusing on anxiety, depression, and really focusing on life transitions, different types of life transitions that may impact relationships, as well as infertility.
Okay, it sounds like some interesting work there. So one question before we get into the questions, like what is your peak season?
Peak season, I don't think I have a peak season
No peak
because
season?
mental health doesn't really go on a break. It's
Right.
just I sometimes see waves of things where I might see waves of anxiety or waves of depression or waves of relationship challenges, but there's no time that these specifically happen. It just kind of comes and goes, but I don't really notice any peak or down.
Okay, I say that because is there like times when people are more fertile, like times of the year, like maybe winter, when people are all closed in the house and snuggled up when it's cold, and is it getting a little more intimate?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that they're more fertile during that time because also that is a time where there might be a lot of sadness as well because there's a lot of holidays and a lot of family time. And some people have this hope of doing an announcement and that announcement doesn't come, or there's this stress about what other people are going to be asking or stress about what they're going to say. And so for some people, it is a nice, cozy season where they feel very comfortable and very fertile, and other people it's really stressful because of the unknown and not sure what to do.
Okay, okay. Well, that was just the icebreaker. So now let's get into the real question.
Deep icebreaker.
And I asked because in the winter, well, I did 2 and 2. I have 4 kids, so I had 2 in the summer and 2 in the winter. So I was just trying to wonder, if it was a thing going on. But listen, many women silently battle anxiety and guilt while waiting to conceive. So, what are
Yeah,
some hidden mental health effects that stress can have on fertility?
a lot, because what you think impacts the way that you feel, and then it impacts your body, your physiology, everything about you. And so when you're waiting for that thing, in this case a baby, or improving your health, or maybe it's waiting for another child or waiting for something, your mind is constantly going, and all of the worry and stress about that is not good for your mental health, but it's also not good for your relationships, and then it's not good for your physical body. And so when you cycle that in with fertility, you already have a hormone imbalance. For many women who already have a hormone imbalance, this increased anxiety adds to the hormone imbalance and usually makes things go out of whack even more. And that's usually when I see them. A lot of my clients come to me with a lot of anxiety and they don't know what to do. And so working on the anxiety, working on the depression, and helping them manage what's going on in their mind really helps them narrow in and focus onto what's going on in their body. Because it's really hard to have peace in your body when you don't have peace in your mind.
Mm. And does the tension, like when you anxious and you tense and with the panic attacks, does that affects the fertility as well? Being
Yes,
relaxed. Hmm.
yes, I was actually speaking with I forgot what kind of professional they were, and they were saying that depending on where you hold the anxiety, it can greatly impact your fertility. A lot of people hold stress and anxiety in their stomach, or in their pelvis area, and they'll tense up those areas. And if you're tensing those muscles, those are your exact muscles and those are exact organs that you need for fertility. So if you're tensing your uterus and you're tensing your stomach and those areas around it, your body feels that tension. And when it feels that tension, it's telling you it's not time to produce. We have to calm down first. We need to make sure that you're feeling safe before we bring something else into this world.
Okay. Now, do you work with men as well before I ask my next question?
Yes, I do. I work with men and
Okay.
women.
So does that hold the same for men when they're anxious and everything? Does it affect their reproductive organ, with being tense or whatever, and not being able to produce?
Yes, because stress impacts your fertility. And stress impacts your hormones. So it impacts testosterone, it impacts progesterone, it impacts estrogen, the three biggest ones that we know about for fertility. And so when you're experiencing all that stress, even as men, men experience it differently because they have this thought that I don't feel it. I don't feel the month to month, so I don't know what I can do. And so they have this level of stress about the I don't know what else I can do because I only know what you tell me. And I
Mm,
only know what I feel as a want to be father, a father in the making, whatever you want to call it, someone who desires to be a father. I have these desires and I don't know what to do. So they're holding it in their body, which is increasing stress. Some people have trouble sleeping, which also impacts our hormones. They have trouble doing day-to-day tasks, which impacts hormones. And and even though it impacts it slightly different, it all boils down to your body's not feeling safe and you're feeling overwhelmed.
that's good. And so there's often shame about infertility in communities and families and friends and society in general. So, what can we do to create more compassionate conversations instead of silent suffering?
Yeah, so I've noticed that shame often comes when you compare. So someone experiences shame when they're comparing their journey to somebody else. Now, it could be somebody outside, like a family or a friend or someone that they see on social media, or it could be comparing themselves in the present to who they thought they would be in the future,
Mhm.
or what they want, and it's not happening yet. And so they're just not at that place where they're content with where they're at and they're just feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. And then it gets exacerbated when someone doesn't get it. When they try to share their story with someone and that person is not able to empathize with them and they give them negative feedback, which reinforces that shame, which reinforces the fact that they're not where they should be. And so, how can somebody help that? So, first, the person who's experiencing it, the way that they can remove that shame is to understand that you're on a unique journey and your journey is not like anybody else's. And so it's to work on being content where you are right now, which is really hard. And I understand that completely. And that's why it's important to do it, to get help with somebody else, to be able to get that other perspective. And then for other people who are supporting someone on this journey, I strongly recommend empathizing with them. Look at it from their perspective rather than trying to give suggestions like, why don't you adopt or foster or have you tried this? All ideas that everybody has heard before. Just listen and show that compassionate care that you wish you had when you were going through something difficult. And so some ideas that you can say are, I'm so sorry you're going through this. How can I help? What can I do to help support you? And let them speak. Sometimes they just want to speak and feel heard rather than talked to.
That's good. So, how can, like sometimes, especially with the pressure and the shame, people don't talk about certain things, and sometimes it's normalized. So they're doing it for so long or whatever. They think that their feelings and emotions are normal, so they're not valid to be expressed or go to a therapist or a psychiatrist or psychologist. So, how do women know when they've crossed that line, or men, from normal waiting until it's just an emotional overload?
You feel it in your mind and your body when you start to get angry,
Mm.
and the anger is more than just, the day before your period. You know that the irritability is more than just one day. You start to get angry, you start to get resentful, the jealousy is increasing, the frustration's increasing, you start to withdraw and then judge other people. When you're seeing all of these things happening frequently, I mean, you should get help before that time, but if you're starting to see this and you're like, when is it that breaking point, like you just said, that when you start to see that combination of anger, irritability, frustration, judgment, jealousy, it's best to get help.
That's good. So we've been talking about like some signs and symptoms and everything. So
Mhm.
let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we get back, you can give them some tips and tools of how to overcome some of those signs and symptoms, and so that they could be on a smoother course into their fertility journey. So we will be right back.
You weren't meant to break, you were set apart. What if your deepest pain was the birthplace of your greatest purpose? Meet Gingerbread, a child caught in the chaos of her mother's depression and suicide attempts. She never asked for trauma, shame, or to feel invisible, but she found something greater. Set Apart, the journey to find hope through loneliness, shame, and death is more than a book. It's the breakthrough you didn't know you needed. If you've ever said, "I'm fine," when you were falling apart. If you've ever thought, "This story isn't for me," it is. Don't let fear, excuses, or busyness rob you of healing. This book will shatter the silence, stir your soul, and remind you, you were never forgotten. You were set apart. Set Apart, the journey to find hope in times of shame, loneliness, and death, by author Virginia Dale Manning. Available now, because hope can't wait.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So we are here with Dr. Brenna Squires, right? I said it right.
Yes.
Kudos to me. And so we were talking about some of the symptoms and signs of fertility, dealing with your mental health, anxiety, guilt, and shame with the family, friends, community. So now we are going to dive into some ways to help you get through those things.
Yeah.
So for those who are watching and who are struggling with the hope, give them one practical and or spiritual tip or step they can take today to feel peace while they wait.
Yes. When I think of hope, I think of the verse, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. And so we have to have faith when we're hoping for something, faith that we will get that what we are hoping for. And then we don't see it yet. And so when we're thinking about something and we're hoping for something, we have to understand just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so having that hope and having that hope is so important to be able to get to that thing. But there's also something that I've realized is called hope fatigue. When you're hoping for so long and you're exhausted because you still don't get that thing. You're hoping and hoping and hoping, and that thing never comes, and it's just so much. And in that time, I recommend just putting your faith and your trust in the Lord, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know all of those things. That's why we have that faith and that hope. And so putting that trust in the Lord gives that peace to say, I'll be okay in the present time while I'm waiting for that hope.
Oh, that is good. I didn't expect you to put that spiritual twist on there, but I like that. Absolutely. You have to, that's what you said, like the evidence of things not seen, because you for sure don't really see it anyway too much, right? It's in your body. sperm and egg connecting. So it's things that you don't see, or and things like that. So you really don't know what's happening. But
No.
when you have that faith and that hope that he's going to give you what you've been asking for and your desires, and you've been obedient,
Mhm.
then he will answer your hopes and your dreams. That is so good.
Yeah, and something else I've learned too, and in getting to the place of contentment with he's gonna give you the desires of your heart, and your desires may change. He may change as you're praying, he may change you and to say, well, if this is not the right path, give me the right path. And if it's something different, should I be having this level of contentment while I'm here to help you me get to that next place? I think
Mhm.
that's something that's important as well.
Oh, and listen to this one. This one is even deeper. When you said that, it brought to mind what my apostle says all the time in churches. Like, what your will is, the other person might not be willing for the same thing. Even though you're in a relationship and they might be saying and performing and and this and that, but deep down they may be thinking, I really don't want children right now. She wants children, let me give her children, and vice versa. And so, whose will is going to be answered. So, sometimes that could be the thing too. And that's why having that relationship where you in sync and synchronize and having the right partner is important as well to make that fertility thing happen.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, like, they'll struggle with one partner with getting pregnant, and then as soon as they'll break up, and then they'll start dating someone else, and they thought they were the problem, which they probably was in that relationship. But then when they get with somebody else, they get pregnant just like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's a physical thing where it's male factor infertility or female factor infertility. Sometimes it's a spiritual thing where it's the right timing. Sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time with the right person. We don't really know what it is. And that's kind of why it's important to have that hope and have that trust. And I do believe it's really helpful to have that faith in the Lord, knowing that at the end of the day, like we were talking about, we don't have control over a lot of things. And you do the best that you can do, but at the end of the day, give the rest to the Lord because He knows everything.
Mhm. For you, or whatever purpose he has planned for your life. So that is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, okay, doctor. Are you ready for the audience's favorite part of the show?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do the spotlight question. I think that's my favorite part, the drum roll. Okay, so, and you've given us so many tips and tools already. So, but what's one mindset shift or action step you believe could transform how we approach mental health and wellness in our daily lives?
Yes. And this is one that a lot of people know, but they don't do it. And that is don't do it alone. Self-help books are great and thinking through things are great, workbooks are great, journaling is great, but it reaches a point where you cannot see things from a different direction on your own. You can only see what you see. You only have one perspective. And in order to have that mindset shift, you need to have somebody else who can see a different perspective, process that with you, and get you to that place where you are not today. And so, whether that is a friend, a family, a therapist, a coach, something, somebody else to get you to that next place is vital.
Right, because you do not have to do it alone. Like you said, it could be a plethora of people
Yeah.
that you get for support, just long as you get that support and don't go at it alone. Because
Yeah.
alone is sometimes a lonely place. Even though you have the Lord with you wherever you go, He
Yeah.
does put human beings on earth.
Yeah.
We do His bidding and His will and His work for Him that He can't do in the natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is important. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
You're welcome.
Well, and I've loved this show. I mean, I think you've probably been one of the most spiritual ones I've ever had. And, I try not to be a little too spiritual with people because I want to respect people different, viewpoints and perspectives. But I thank you for bringing that component to the show today.
Yes, you're welcome. I feel like in the world of health and wellness and mental health and especially fertility, we have to remember we're not in control of everything. But there is someone who is. And so putting our trust in that other person, in the Lord, greatly helps mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely. So let the audience know where they can connect with you, and if you have any kind of special going on or anything you want them to know about, to know more about you or what you have going on out there.
Yes, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Dr. Brenna Squires. You can also go to my website, Encourage and Empower Wellness. I also have a podcast called Empowered Fertility that talks all about ways that you can empower yourself on your fertility journey. And right now, I'm offering individual and couples therapy. I do virtual. And so while I am licensed in the state of Florida, I also have a certification that allows me to practice virtually in most states in the United States.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So any closing comments or anything you want to tell or share with the audience?
Yes, there is hope. There is always hope. So don't give up on anything. Don't give up on your joy. Don't give up on your peace. Don't give up on your relationship. Don't give up on your desire to have children. Go out, get help, and get that encouragement that you need to be able to flourish in your current season, because it's not over.
That is so, so good. Okay, well, so when your prayers feel unanswered and the pressure keeps building, how do you stay hopeful and whole? Go back and watch the replay because she gave you a whole bunch of great ideas on spiritual grounding and how to find that hope. And Girl Talk Mental Health, we have raw and healing and spiritual conversation. So be sure that you stay connected on social media and on our YouTube channel. Watch the full episodes and let this conversation breathe life back into your waiting season. And we will see you next time. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us for Girl Talk Mental Health. Remember, your mental health is your wealth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to at Virginia Del Manning.